everybody. Happy Tuesday. We've got lots of announcements here to start out with. So let's get right to it, ladies. So first of all, oh my gosh, last week was so awesome. For those of you who were on last week, some of you were live with us and for our test solution group, first time in 2 years that we've been able to have in-person activity. It was so great. So we invited some of our families just to kind of have a test night because clearly we needed it. Those of you who were on Zoom did experience technical difficulties and sound issues and all that. And those are some of the things that we need to work out as we start opening back up. The good news is those of you who were on Zoom last week and had those sound issues, they were resolved by the very end. So if you hung tight and were still with us the last 2 minutes of the night, you got to experience that we did get it solved. And so Nico has been working super hard. We really appreciate having somebody like Nico who can figure these things out because us ladies certainly cannot. So we appreciate Nico, and it got figured out at the end. So there shouldn't be any more issues. But if they arise, we will figure it out, and we will get this figured out to how do we have a live event for those of you who can join us live, who are local and can come, and then how do we also accommodate all of you guys at home, since we have certainly gotten really used to and spoiled being able to still connect from the comforts of our own home. So we will work that out. So here's the deal. I'm still letting people in here. So here's the deal, and here's the schedule and how it's going to work. So we are going to be doing live solution groups on the 1st and the 3rd. Oh, let me mute these people here. So we will be having live solution groups on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday of every month. And we will have Zoom every single week still. And so live in person, the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday of every month. And that will be updated on our website. It is currently updated on Facebook. If you were on our text reminder list, you got the format and the upcoming dates for the next 30 days. And all of that, and hopefully we can just it will be simple for us to always know which week we can come live, and if you need the address you can reach out to us and get it. But we're pretty excited about that, and we're not we think we can fit all the family members that can arrive live. So there's just, if you can attend live, come join us live next Tuesday, April, is that the 5th? Tuesday, April 5th, join us live next week. And if you need to stay at home, then we will still be here for you from home too, but we certainly hope you can join us live. So that's the solution group announcements. So what else do we got, ladies? Who do I turn it over to? Kristen?
I'm going to go first real quick. I want to let everybody know that the gear store is going to be open in the next month, probably. You can see some of us have gear on. And you can just look through the gallery and see Becky's got a different one. I have matching with art tonight. I thought that was kind of cool. We called each other. And just want to let you know that the gear store will be up. We'll let you know more about when, but it'll be cool. I'm thinking it might be online this year, so you'll be able to see the product and then order whatever size you want. So that's going to be cool. And then we'll also have some in person too at the solution groups. We'll have some limited supply. So that's awesome. Another thing is a big thank you to Carrie Burrows. She brought Taco Tuesday tonight for the Rebuild Recovery crew. So
thank you, Carrie.
Thank you,
Mama. There. She's there with the crew.
Hey, and lastly, don't forget Mom's Group tomorrow from 11 to 12. It's on Zoom. If you need the link, you can contact Angie or Becky or I, and we can send you the link. And a reminder that it's for every lady who wants to show up. It's fun. We just chat. Sometimes we talk about what was talked about the night before at Solution Group. Sometimes we just BS a bunch about what happened to us during the week, or lots of good stuff. It was incredible last week. It was so good last week. So just a reminder for that. If you need a link again, contact Angie or Becky or I. And Run for Recovery is next, and Becky's going to do a bunch of stuff on that. Sign up, sign up. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, we're in full swing. We're excited about Run for Recovery. And if you haven't heard about how to register yet, please go to our website. And if you click on events, Run for Recovery pops up. It'll take you right to the page, the event page, where there's everything that you need to know and everything you need to know about signing up. If you have any questions, and there's actually a couple questions that have come up this week, please either message me on Facebook or Kristen on Facebook, or you can email Becky@battlefielladdiction.com or Kristen@battlefielladdiction.com. I think you can also find our phone numbers on the event page. So if you have any questions at all, we're happy to help you out. One of the big things is about groups. Like we have a group price of 5, and that's a discounted price for 5 people if you have a team. So if you have more than that, say you have 10, then just buy 2 team tickets. If you're not sure exactly what to do, like I said, just message us. We will send you a special code. You'll still get the discounted price for a group, and we can add as many people as you want. Let's see what other questions. Oh, someone wanted to sponsor someone in recovery, and I did that as well. When you do register, there's a box that will pop up that says notes. And in that note box, if there's somebody specific that you want to sponsor, you can write their name. Make sure when you answer the questions that you write their name there and write down what t-shirt size they might need. Otherwise, if you just write their name, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what size they wear. The other thing is, our email campaign. So we're really trying to spread the word. Not everybody is on Facebook. So we've got several people that are sending out emails to everybody they know that might be interested. We don't have a big advertising budget. So would really be great if some of you could send 10 to 20 or so emails out to people. Just spread the word about the Run for Recovery. If you can do that, like I said, contact me or Kristen, and we'll get you everything that you need. We have a template. All you have to do is fill it out or copy it and, customize it and send out to whoever you think might be interested in our Run for Recovery. And then let's see, what else do I need to talk about? Oh, employee giving events. Oh my gosh. Miley, who is someone who her family's been with Battlefield Addiction since, I think you said 2014.
Yeah.
And Miley is doing great. And she got a job with Exotic Metals. And they have an employee giving program. And she nominated us for a grant. And so they're giving us a pretty substantial grant, which is awesome. Anyway, other employees also do giving events. And so if they have any giving events, and we can come and talk to employees about what Battlefield does and hopefully get on their list, let us know, please. And am I missing anything? Am I forgetting anything, Angie?
I think you're good. I think you covered it.
And oh my gosh, thank you, Miley. She's not the first. There's other people that have done this too that have been really amazing. So if you have an employer that does have like a giving program, look into it and let us know, because we won't say no.
Yeah, and what's really cool about Miley, like you said, she was part of our program way back in 2014, and she's a graduate, and she was also the recipient of scholarship funding.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty cool. She has several years in recovery. She has referred many families our way. And like Becky said, she nominated us with her company. She has a successful job and all of that. And I just think it's pretty cool. So, and so many organizations have things available, funds available for nonprofits and causes and things like that. And if you just take the time to ask your human resource department what they might have available for us to come out and introduce Battlefield at an employee, luncheon or something like that, because a lot of them have that like once a year, so they can meet local nonprofits. So if you have any opportunities like that, please let us know. We are ready to get back out there and spread the word about Battlefield. It's been a very quiet 2 years, because of COVID. We haven't been able to get out there and spread the word. And our organization has grown word of mouth and by us getting out there and talking to people. It hasn't been by advertising or anything like that. It is our feet on the ground and talking to people. And so we're ready to get out there and start meeting people and telling them about who we are and what we do. And so do let us know if you have any opportunities and you spot something, reach out to any of the three of us, and we will get on it. So thank you, everybody. One last thing, and I'll turn it over, and that is group coaching. Our next group coaching date is Wednesday, April 13th. So there is no cost to group coaching, but you do need to register because we have limited seats. And so you, at any time, you can go to our website. Everything is updated on our website except our solution group schedule with now that we've gone live, and we will be updating that in the next 24 hours. But everything else is completely updated on our website. So you can always go to our website, click on services, click on group coaching, and then you can get registered through that link. You can also sign up for our email mailing list, our text reminder list, everything, Run for Recovery, everything on our website, battlefielladdiction.com. All right.
And share.
That's enough. That was a lot of announcements. We've cut into Art's time. So thank you, ladies, so much. Let's move it on back over to the group room. We don't have any comedy tonight because Kyle Munkers is on a little vacay, visiting his family up in, I'm trying to get everybody off spotlight and then just Art. He's visiting his family up in Bellingham. So he's taken the week off. And so I will turn it right over to Mr. Art Dolan. Take it away.
We're going to shut those off for, for years now. I remember when I first got into this thing. Can you guys see me? It's just too small. I'm too small behind here. How's the sound, Edge?
It's a little quiet. So maybe if you just project a little better.
Okay. I remember right when I got into recovery, or whatever you call it, I stopped using drugs and started to not use drugs. There was this real need to know everything about it. And I had the answers. I remember it started out that we said it was you hear it, it's a spiritual warfare. So addiction is a spiritual warfare. You're battling your demons. That was the first kind of thing that went. And then we went on to say that maybe it was a lack of presence that it could be. Maybe you just, you couldn't be with yourself, a restless, irritable, discontent kind of thing. So then you look into that, and maybe a lack of acceptance could be, boredom. Oh, and then, about 3 years into this addiction thing, when I got into it, when I wasn't using drugs anymore, what came was Gabor Mate. And if you know who Gabor Mate was, he's this, he's an expert. Gabor Mate knows everything about addiction. He worked in Vancouver at the Needle Exchange, and he was the clinician there up in Vancouver. And Gabor Mate wrote In the Realm of the Hungry Ghost, and Gabor Mate came out with ACE, which is adverse childhood experiences. And he measured people's adverse childhood experiences, and he said that it was trauma. Well, when I first started, it was a disease, then it was trauma. And then once Gabor Mate started saying trauma, everybody had latched on to trauma. And that's what causes addiction. I wonder what causes adultery. I wonder what causes overeating. How come they never look into the cause of gambling problem? We've never said trauma causes a gambling problem. We've never said anything like that. So all these other bad behaviors, we don't really look into causes, but it just seems to be that addiction, they're fascinated with trying to tell us what the cause is. Sometimes I think it should be very offensive for a parent to hear. All you parents out here, I don't understand why it's not offensive to you when you hear it's caused by trauma. So you're sitting there with a kid that didn't go through trauma, that you raised like your other kids, that you raised with love, that you're connected to, and they say addiction is caused by trauma, lack of connection, and no love. And I wonder why parents don't stand up and go, you know what? Fuck you. I have 3 kids that I raised with love, that I raised connected to, that I didn't cause any trauma, that weren't abandoned. And here, one's an addict and 2 just graduated from college. So what do you want? What are you telling me? So this is really, and for me, when Gabor Mate started telling me that, and I read In the Realm of the Hungry Ghost, and I read the book, and he told me addiction was caused by trauma, I couldn't find my trauma. But yet, lo and behold, here I am, a drug addict, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's going on? I can't find my trauma. I can't find out how I was raised with no love. I can't find out how nobody connected with me. Oh, and then Johan Hurry, or whatever his name is, if you ever remember when his TED Talk came out, this guy comes out with a TED Talk, and his TED Talk said, the title was, Everything We've Ever Known About Addiction is Wrong, he said. It was like, oh shit, we got to watch this guy. Fuck, what's he going to say? And what he said was, it was the opposite of addiction is human connection. That's what he said. And I thought to myself, wow, because he took some rats and he gave some rats cocaine that were isolated, and they all liked the cocaine or heroin or whatever he gave them. And then he gave them rats that had play toys and could hang out together. And those rats didn't like the cocaine. So all of a sudden they figured out the cause of addiction. And it's very weird that they figured out the cause, but we don't know how to solve it still. We're still sitting here all in this room and we're still talking about it, but they figured out the cause. And he said, that's what it is. And now people come and say, oh, addiction is just the, what opposite of addiction is human connection. I thought, geez, don't you remember connecting with people in the trap house? I do. I remember being high as hell connecting with people. In fact, that was addiction, was human connection. For me, I was like, God damn, let's do some cocaine and talk all night. Let's do some meth and kick it. Let's do some heroin and talk. It was that addiction was human connection. That's how we connected. I really loved it. Now imagine, why aren't they sober? Why are they still in addiction? If they're all down in Seattle right now, just totally kicking it, running around together, why aren't they sober? Because they're doing drugs. The opposite of addiction is not using drugs. Like the opposite of adultery is not cheating on your wife. Is the opposite of adultery wife connection? And now what? Are we going to blame the wife? Oh, he went out and cheated on his wife. Must be the lack of connection in the home. Must be the wife's fault. So I think it's very offensive that we just come and say, well, and by the way, again, as we've went on through this thing, what I've known is that it's all a philosophy. All of it. How to get sober is a philosophy. It's your philosophy, my philosophy, and my philosophy's changed dramatically. People say, well, you used to say this. I know, it's changed. I thought I knew shit. I don't know nothing. Everything just changes. It looks one way, then it looks another way. Then you experience one thing and your experience meets the way it looks and it looks totally different. And you ever read a book and you read a book and then you read the book a year later, you're like, wow, I didn't even see that in the book. Like this changes. If you ever hear a song and at one moment in life it's good and then the other moment in life it sucks. You ever be with a woman and love her for a second and then don't? Yeah, I mean, shit changes. You ever like grape juice and then not? You go through my cereal changes. I like one cereal and I'll eat it and then I can't eat that cereal anymore. It sucks. You know, pizza taste changes. Everything changes. So what this has become is this is philosophical. And I don't know why there isn't more outrage over it. And then, so my week looked like, you know, it started out this week and I had a little experience this weekend and it got to me the point where now when I say this, there's 2 things that I talk about in this room. And
we've lost you. We've lost you. Oh, something happened right then. They'll be back. Let's see. Where'd you guys go? I see you on there. Can't hear you.
Are we back?
Now, yep. Now we are.
So,
oh,
I'm having a meltdown. So, you know, I talk about 2 things that really get people. One is love, unconditional love, and people hate it. You know, for some reason, if I say to the world tonight that there's no such thing as honesty, I think people just kind of laugh. Nobody gets excited. People go, wait, I think he's wrong. There is honesty. I can prove it. But if I say there's no such thing as love, if there's no such thing as unconditional love, people start logging off. People get pissed. And I don't, by the way, it's a philosophy. If I say there's no such thing as love, it's just a philosophy. Maybe it's one that I'm looking into right now, that I'm looking at the fact that maybe love doesn't exist. And I know that's hard for people to even fathom because they identify with themselves as so goddamn loving. And it's so hard for someone just for a second to think that maybe love doesn't exist. It's hard. You can't even think about it. And for sure, it's so hard to say that I believe, if I say this, I believe love should have absolute conditions. Should have massive conditions to it. Then people go, oh, that's so, why? And so in the drug world, and then the other thing that people get frustrated with is if I mention that maybe they don't have a choice. They hate that because that takes away responsibility and I can't be better than you if we're not in a choice game, and they don't like that. So choice and unconditional, they're hot button topics. I like to, it's almost if I'm talking about, or if I talk about Trump, but you just, whatever. So start out this week that I kind of posed a question that I would tell everyone in this room, there was no such thing as love. And, I didn't say it because it's true. I just said it because I think that more and more, my job isn't to have the answers. My job is to make people think. And if I can do something here tonight that makes you think a little differently this week, makes you think creative, makes you think for yourself, makes you have your own ideas, that maybe that's kind of cool. Better than telling you I know something that I don't, because we've went back now. And I think over the last year, I haven't said anything emphatically that I know. I've learned to say that I'm just feeling things out these days. But it brought me to a point of, okay, let's look. At least can we say if there might be a thing called love, there might be connection, but it's been watered down to the point where we've watered love down. And I want to kind of talk about how it's watered down. It's watered down to I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, and it's meaningless. And, then I go back to this thing that addiction is a lack of love. And I find that highly offensive, that addiction would be caused by a lack of love. I find that highly offensive. I find that highly offensive that addiction would be caused by a lack of connection, because I would love to go down to Seattle and see if you can love anyone into sobriety down there. I would love to go down there and see all the people that are, down there in the tents, and then just go tell them that just go connect with them. Here's the other thing that's highly offensive about that. Then if I'm a drug addict, what I have to wait for is someone to love me. Then I'll be sober. If I'm a drug addict, what I have to do is I have to wait for somebody to connect with me. And the reason that I was a drug addict was nobody connected with me. And I was traumatized. And I think, how could you stand for that? How could you stand for that being the cause of you being an addict? Zero responsibility on our part. None. Just the fact that we were traumatized. And see, drug addicts are the only group that seem like they don't fight their own fight. It's always somebody that's not a drug addict telling us what caused it, telling us their experience, telling us what they know, their research. What about our research? We're sitting in this room, and I can ask you, who here wasn't loved? Who here wasn't connected with? I don't see anyone's hands going up. But yet, there they are, right on the TV, telling us that addiction is caused by a lack of love and a lack of connection. Who the fuck gets to say that shit? And who gets to say it to you? So now all those people down in Seattle, you know what they need to do? They need to do something. There's nobody else in their life that needs to do something. They need. Now, maybe, let's say it is. Let's say it's caused by a lack of connection. Let's say it's caused by a lack of love. Well, then why wouldn't it be the reverse? Why wouldn't it be because they don't love anyone and they don't connect with anyone? Why wouldn't that be the problem? Why isn't the opposite of drug addiction is stop doing drugs and go connect with people? Stop doing drugs and go love someone else. If you want to be loved, who do you love? Who do you love? You're just going to sit and wait and be a victim for someone to love you? I've been sober 11 years. I did drugs for 17. I've been sober for 11. There's not a difference in how people loved me. There's not a difference in how people connected with me. Nobody's changed. Nobody changed in my family. Nobody changed in my friends. Nobody changed. So how am I sober? How could that possibly be? I didn't heal my trauma. I haven't been in a therapist's office for the last 11 years. You know what I did to get sober? I stopped using drugs.
You just decided not to.
I stopped using drugs. And I don't know if I decided, but I definitely, there is a massive correlation between not being a drug addict and not doing drugs. There is a huge correlation between these two things. I mean, it's very suspicious. Almost, and there is a massive correlation between being a drug addict and drugs, doing them. Now, why can't we say that? Why did the person commit adultery? Because he liked this more than that. It felt good. You know why I did drugs? I loved them. They felt good, really good. And I'll challenge anyone on here to try to do a line of cocaine and not love it. I'll challenge anyone on here to do a little sniff of heroin and not love it. It is good shit. And when you do it, you like it. And it feels good. All that other nonsense. So it brings you to the point where, why? Who are these people telling you that you need to be connected with? Who are these people telling you that you were traumatized? And why are we listening? Now, albeit somebody in here could have had trauma, but we can put a room of an exact age of people, same demographic. Just go get another group of 20 and 30, 40, 50-year-olds, put 30 people in the room, and and they're all sober, never been drug addicts, and I guarantee we get the same numbers. Yeah. Same amount of people that went through divorce, same amount of people that went through abandonment, same amount of people that went through their parents hitting them, same amount of people that went through things. Can we argue that? So, to say, and the thing is that the frustrating part, when I said there's no such thing as love. Okay. And what I mean by that is, why do we expect it? Like, it's another goddamn thing that America is entitled to. Just entitled to be loved. What kind of entitlement is that? People should love me. People should, no. Are you lovable? Are you lovable? What do you do to be lovable? Name something. Give me one goddamn thing that you do to be lovable. If you can say, this is what I do to be lovable. What do you do to make your energy wanting? What make your energy open to people? What work are we doing to get love? Getting love is not something we're entitled to. It's something you have to earn. Why is it so hard to say that? Why is it so hard to say to someone, hey, listen, right now, I don't love you. Why do we expect to be loved? And when they're talking about unconditional love, why? What is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of unconditional love? And the purpose of it is to what? It's always in some form of, yes, this person is behaving deplorably, but I must still love them. Why? What good does it do? What about saying, hey, when you behave deplorably, I don't love you. So behave better. What about love being something that we can do to be accountable? What about having it be something we can say, it's just another thing that I have to, just like anything else in my life. If I want love, I have to take care of love. I don't just expect Angie to love me. If I want to lay around and eat cookies and eat crackers in bed and get 30 more pounds and not go on a walk and not improve myself and not do anything, not make any money, not work hard, not do anything and just go, you should love me. That's so outrageous. So outrageous that we can't say, listen, I was an unlovable person. Go try to love one of these people down in Seattle. They are unlovable. Why not say that? You are unlovable because you just took a shit on the street and you are shooting up in the city. And it's not an act of a lovable person. It's not something someone can do to be loved. Now, you want love? Open up. Just say it. Hey, I want to quit doing drugs and be loved. Okay. Earn it. Come on. You got to not do drugs. You got to come here. You got to straighten up. You got to make your bed. You got to not complain. You can't love somebody that's complaining. Try. It's hard. It's not fun. You can't love somebody that's moping all the time. And I've learned that here. We got mopers. Moping. I don't want to love you. Stop moping. There's an expectation. I don't have any expectation in my life that love, I'm entitled to love. I'm not, and I'm certainly not entitled to unconditional love. I'm not asking for it. I don't want it. And I don't understand why people are so goddamn hung up on it. I don't understand why. Okay, if you're so good with unconditional love, let your husband go cheat on you. Let him go sleep with every woman in every hotel. And when he's out in the hotel room sleeping with women, text him how much you love him. There, that's unconditional love. You told him you're married him for life. Come on. Why not do that? Because it's not true. You can't love somebody unconditionally. It's not fun to do that. And it's not even a good system. What about we have an accountable love affair? You stay good. I stay good. We're accountable to each other. You don't go cheat on me. I don't go cheat on you. You keep your body healthy. I keep my body healthy. You keep your energy open. I keep mine open. There. That's something. The work of not doing drugs and staying sober has to do with you connecting with the world. That's on you. You need to connect with the world. Nobody needs to connect with you. You need to love someone. Nobody needs to love you. Don't expect it. Because that would be a crazy world if you just got to sit around and keep getting high until someone loves you. What a victim position to live in. A crazy world if you can just sit here and, yeah, you want to go get high in your closet and hide and peek out the blinds and then talk about how it's a lack of connection? Jesus. You're alone, sneaking, lying to everyone, doing drugs, and then talking about how it's a lack of connection. Now, is any of this true? I don't know. Like I said, every one of us got our own experiences and our own shit. Maybe some of you were abandoned. Maybe some of you weren't loved. Fine. What are we going to do about it? Love someone. Connect with someone.
Yeah, is that the reason why you're not going to get sober?
Yeah. Wait for it. And just this guy. So this guy does this talk. He does these rat things and tells us that we are somehow similar to rats, which is another thing that really is offensive. He compares rats to drug addicts. So we're now rats. Well, the rats did this. Well, shit, then fuck. That's good research. It's a rat. You didn't tell me you did it with humans. You did it with rats. And now you're supposed to tell me that, oh, okay, the reason that, no, you know what? I was the most connected kid in school. I was one of the most popular kids there was. I was the most loved. My parents spoiled the shit out of me. They couldn't stop loving me. They gave me everything I wanted. I was so given and connected to, and my family praised me, and everything I did, they told me I was great, and all of it. And I got high, and I kept getting high. And my connection to the world started fading and fading and fading until I'm alone in my room with the blinds closed and I'm smoking crack by myself. That's on me. I did that. No one else did that. No one caused that. And all these families having to sit here and listen to what you all did wrong. Ridiculous. Look at your research. Look at your kids that are doing good. Look at your kids that you raised the exact same. Look at your kids that you provided the same love for compared to the kid. Now, is it possible that we have addiction is caused by a lot of drugs coming here? Is that just a possibility that could be the cause? That there was no fentanyl in Washington State in 1992 when I went to high school. Do you know how many fentanyl addicts were in Washington State?
Zero.
Fucking zero. And now everyone's running around trying to see why there's fentanyl addicts. Absolute ridiculous. You know how many meth addicts went to my high school? Zero. You know why? There was no meth. In the late 90s, they started coming out with something called crank. When the crank hit the streets, all the guys driving Harleys and shit, and everyone started doing crank, and crank came in. They didn't treat alcoholics this way. You know, families really, once an alcoholic started being an alcoholic, there wasn't all this love. It wasn't that way, man. Have you ever seen how they didn't treat alcoholics the way they're treating? You remember the bums down in Seattle that were alcoholics? No one was bringing them beer. No one was doing shit for them. They were freezing there right on the street. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know why we've substituted personal accountability. I don't know why that system has failed us, and I don't know how personal accountability failed us. But for some reason, someone's told us that personal accountability is not a good system. That individuals doing right is no longer the way out of this. That instead, individuals must be able to do wrong, and we must love them. And we must tell them that they're okay. We must say, hey. Now, I think if that's true, then the same should apply for adultery, because adultery seems to me like a lot like drug use. You do a behavior that makes you feel different, that makes you feel good, gets you away from your current mood for a little while. That sounds like drug use to me. So, that being said, I can blame all of my adultery and every time I'm sleeping with a lot of women on someone else. I can say it's because you don't connect with me and you don't love me and I've been traumatized and I just need to feel this way. So what other bad behavior can we chalk up to? You know, and the oddest thing about addiction is the experts are never addicts. That's crazy. I remember I was down at Aloe and there was a lady prescribing massive amounts of Seroquel and amitriptyline. And I don't know if you've ever tried amitriptyline, but I tried it once in a treatment center and the shit made me want to kill myself that night. I took it to sleep and I wanted to kill myself that night. And I stayed up all night and I caused this whole scene and they put me on a suspension at the treatment center. And I said, well, I think it was the medication. I said, I don't think that's normally me. And they said, no, whatever. But I found out by looking it up later that amitriptyline causes suicidal tendencies and everything. I learned that, you know, like shit. I don't shit that. I'm never taking that shit again. Mm-hmm. And so, and I take a lot of Seroquel. Seroquel, you know, we all know Seroquel. That shit makes you sleep like hell. And you want to eat some chocolate bars. And I mean, the shit is phenomenal for that. And so I've tried it. I've experienced Seroquel. And there was this lady that was handing it out down Aloe like it was candy. And I just, she's a psychiatrist, you know, clinically trained and masked, you know, got her doctor. She's a doctor and all that. And she tells me, well, I've done research on this and I said, really, have you took it? Well, no. Well, wouldn't that be the ultimate research? Could anybody be an expert on a hot fudge sundae that's never ate one? Can anybody be an expert on anything that hasn't done it? So I said, why don't you take some before you just start handing it to people, because you're killing people with that shit. And this is me and the head psychiatrist at one of the premier treatment centers in the world. And I'm like, fuck you. I said, you're bringing zombies back to me. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not the best thing to do. You know, she didn't agree. But again, I don't know. I don't know if love exists. I do know if it exists, it should be. I know that we've watered it down to a point that what we're talking about is not it. I know that if it exists, it's when this place comes where your energy is really good and somebody sees that your energy really is good and they feel that your energy is really good. And in that moment, they have some feeling towards you. But it's when your energy is really good. It's when you've done some work to get yourself in a calm place. It's when you've done the work to be loved. And I don't know why it's not okay to go, you know, I don't think I should be entitled to it. What have you done today to be loved? Have you done anything for anyone else? Have you loved anyone else? What did you do today to be loved? What did you do yesterday to be loved? What did you, and if you bought into it, and I don't think you do, but if you bought into addiction being your lack of connection, well, then who did you connect with today? What'd you do to solve that? But no matter what we're saying here, I just think there's a big, big problem with people defending us. You know, there's not a white guy running Black Lives Matter. I'm not a privileged white male walking in going, I think I know best about your fight. I'm Art. And I don't think I'm going to run down to the LGBTQ parade. And so stand back, everyone. I've done research. I'm gonna lead this mission. I know best. But why in addiction is it always someone that doesn't know shit telling us what it's caused by and what it is? And why don't they have a kid? It's not even a person that has a kid that's an addict. Because it's nonsense. Person that's a kid with an addict. I want a doctor to come out that says it's caused by trauma and have her kid become an addict and she's a doctor. And go, did you beat your kid? You must have. Your kid get touched by the neighbor? Must have, because it's trauma. What is it? But instead, the doctor doesn't have a kid. Just tells everybody that. Well, addiction, must be caused by trauma. Fuck you. What was my trauma? So could it be caused by trauma? Absolutely. Absolutely, it can be. Could it be caused by boredom? Absolutely. Could it be caused by lack of connection? Absolutely. Could it be caused by drugs? Absolutely. I mean, could it be caused by your friend Mikey who brought it to your house? Absolutely. Mikey's a fucking dick. Peer pressure? I got all these leaders sitting in this, and I know they're all leaders. I know that they run shit, each one of the kids sitting in this room. And I just imagine somebody coming, giving us a lecture on peer pressure. Because that's how it was when I was in high school. They're giving me and my buddies who peer pressure everyone into doing everything. We're all sitting in the library doing a lecture on peer pressure. We would never fall into that shit, And you just got one little kid that we made smoke weed sitting there. There's like 13 of us. We all made this kid smoke it. It's like, don't worry, whatever you teach this kid, he's not going to be able to defend himself against us. Your lecture is fine. He's like, that's what you guys did to me. My mom always was convinced that it was someone else.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hang out with that guy. I was like, Mom,
I am.
yeah, I am the guy. I made him do it. Not only did I make him do it, I made him pay for it. Fuck.
We didn't take your car.
Yeah.
I made him steal his mom.
Yeah. He's coming over to mow the lawn in a little while. Shut up. He owes me $20. Well, I don't know. It was a long week. I mean, that's what this week was. And for me, it was like, real honesty about the fact that I can tell you guys, I don't expect anyone to love me, especially if I'm being a dick. And even if I'm not, I don't expect you to love me. I just don't expect it. Am I grateful when it happens? Am I grateful when I see people like me and love me and connect with me? Yes. I do the work to not complain. I do the work to keep my energy up. I do the work to try to stay away from people when I'm real tired. I take a nap so I don't be a dick. I try to not mope. I try to help people and bring in energy and connect with it. And I said, let's go. Let's do something fun. Try to keep my body healthy enough to continue that. Try to help out someone every now and then. Try to turn on some good music and turn the TV off. Make a cup of coffee, sit and talk with someone. That was a great talk we had on the porch. There it is. But if you want to live in a tent, isolate, shoot dope, and then piss and moan and talk about your trauma and your lack of connection, why are we letting people do that shit? Come on. And if you want to blame parents who've been parenting the same way for years, you can do that. What good is it going to do? Get over it. The board will, come on. Here we are. Do we know the cause? Will we ever know the cause? No, never. But you hear that people go, by the way, when I was younger, when I heard the word, someone said like, the scientists have done research. I'm like, yep, they know that's what it is. Let's hear it. They got the answer. They've done the research. Now, when I hear the scientists have done research, I just go, so? It don't mean shit. What does that mean? Yeah, I mean, so what? I don't believe in anyone's research anymore. Nobody's, especially research on addiction with rats. Give me a break. We've done the research right here. We've all done the research. We've got over, if each one of us was an addiction, we got over 400 years of research right in this room. 400 years. We're going to listen to a guy that put some rats in a box. Do your own thinking. You figure out what you need. I don't have it. And it's hard because, I was programmed in society to say that everyone's coming to you. You must have the answer. You must figure it out and tell everyone how it is. And they need to know how it is. Like you need to tell them how it is. I don't fucking know. I don't know what causes it. I don't know what cures it. I don't know. I know drug addicts seem to, I know I have a distaste for drug addicts being a victim. I don't think any one of us in this room are victim. I think we're all leaders. I think you put any of us in a room or a company or a team, we run shit. I don't buy it for a second that something happened to us. I don't buy it. And I don't buy that there's any answers in that. So there's no way to go forward at that point. Well, what do you do? And that's been tradition. Drug addicts getting in a room, complaining about what happened to them, complaining with the therapist, talking to the therapist, talking it out. This is what you need to talk out your trauma.
Really? That's how it was at all the other treatment centers.
Yeah, really? Really? That's going to work? Oh, flying the parents down so you can have the confrontation so some shitbag 20-year-old kid can tell his parents how they screwed up? Fuck.
I remember hearing that when I was young and having to pick out a trauma.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I didn't have them. I didn't get fucked up by nothing.
Yeah, I know.
I need something.
Yeah.
I'm in this meeting, everybody else is fucked up.
Maybe after I was already doing drugs,
Oh, yeah.
A lot of trauma, but
Yeah. We traumatize their own life. No, and by the way, that's not to say that there isn't trauma, and that's not to say that there isn't drug addicts that went through trauma and become drug addicts due to it. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's ridiculous.
It's just strange to me that they call it addiction, but the things that people do in addiction are doing things that are labeled addictive.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've already touched on it. Like addiction, don't you think drugs have a major play in that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're fucking addictive.
Nobody. Why don't people that gamble all their money away? Why isn't no one suggesting that this person went through trauma? Why isn't anyone suggesting that this person needs empathy and love and care and compassion? He gets yelled at. He goes and loses the money, comes home, wife goes, "You dipshit, don't ever go there again." That's the extent of it. And then people go, "He's a loser. He loses all his money at the casino, gambles it all away. Guy's a loser." What's different than that than drugs? I don't know. I mean, I just say that there's all these, and again, somebody really proposed that to parents. They proposed that the reason that their kid could get sober would be unconditional love. Now, what a proposal, one, to suggest that the parent doesn't love the kid in the first place. And for somehow this is caused by a lack of love, and that love is the answer. I've never really seen anyone, can you tell the quantity of love that you had before when you were using drugs? How has the quantity of love that you now have immensely changed? But I thought love was what was going to do it. But nobody can sit here and go, "Yep, I was using and I wasn't loved, and now I got here and I'm just the love." No. Now you get a group of people maybe that you like hanging out with. Makes it easier. Yeah, you don't want to, I mean, you know, I don't know how long you could.
Good role models.
Yeah, you get some good role models. You get some people that are doing cool shit around you. All that stuff seems to line up with something. But none of you would be sober today if you used drugs.
Right.
And the old relapses are part of recovery. It's
We
like,
also-
dude,
We also wouldn't be doing the cool shit.
relapses are part of recovery. You know who's always saying that?
People that are always.
Somebody that just relapsed, like, and they're saying it to their parents. You know, they're explaining their behavior. You know, it's never like, it's like, doesn't make sense in any, well, adultery is part of being faithful. It's just, I'm just on this part of the journey where I'm not being faithful, and it'll change. It'll change, you know. Eating cake is part of dieting. Being broke is part of being rich. Some lady's looking at you, you're broke. She's like, you're like, I'm really just rich. Like, she's like, no, you're broke. No, you're like, that's just part of it. You'll see. Yeah, relapse is the part that ends sobriety. That's what it is. That's what, I mean, I don't know. It's all this shit. Listen, I can challenge everything I've said in the past 8 years, 9 years. I can challenge everything that's said. That way, I can look back at everything that I thought I knew, everything I ever said. I can challenge all of it. That's how I know it's a philosophy. That's how I know that it's just, and it takes a lot to sit here and go, almost everything I say is bullshit. Listen up. But it's not here for, it's not here for the answer. It's here for the question. Does love exist? Why is that so hard of a question to ask? Why can't I say that? It's iffy, in my opinion, whether it exists or not. Sorry. Now, if you don't like that, poor Artie doesn't get any love. No, it's not what I'm saying. Don't run that bullshit with me. I'm just okay with saying I'd be okay with people not loving me. I'm okay with people just being there. They don't have to say they love me like some obligation. They don't have to say that they love me and they'll always love me no matter what I do. I don't need anyone to say that to me. In fact, if I'm doing bullshit, don't love me, because it won't help. If I do bullshit behavior and you just keep telling me you love me, it's not going to help me. And I don't know who it helps. What'll help me is if I do bullshit and you turn your back on me. And I have to prove myself to you, and I have to show you, and I have to come back and say, look, I'm back. I'm doing good now. Please love me. I'm trying to earn it. Hey, I'm sorry. That helps. Helps. It isn't love. There's another philosophy. My philosophy isn't love that gets people sober. It's the reality that you've lost it. That's what gets somebody sober. The fear of losing the love of all the humans. Yeah. The fear that nobody's going to let you back in. The fear that maybe you went too far this time. Knowing you're on the edge of losing the love of the people in your life. Just being on that, knowing you're right at the edge. And then you're about to do drugs, but you go, I'm at the edge. And everyone in this room knows exactly what that edge is. So how do we know that? So what pulls us back? Not the person that goes, keep going, I love you. You're not at the edge. You're fine. The person that goes, turns their back, goes, I'm done with you. Wait, where are you going? I'm coming back. I won't do it anymore. The wife that says, get your shit and get out. Not the wife that goes, honey, just don't do it again. That stops adultery. The wife that says, get your shit, get out, we're done. You ain't never going to cheat on her again. But the wife that says, please don't do it again, then holds it over your head every time.
Yeah.
Remember last year you cheated on me. We're going to the opera tonight. You said you forgive me. Never. By the way, guys, if you cheat on a woman, never will you be forgiven. Don't ever assume that you're going to be forgiven. Never. Don't do it. And you shouldn't be expected. No woman should expect to forgive you. So, there's no such thing as love. How's that? I don't think it exists. That's a philosophy. It's not the truth. But in my opinion, if we woke up tomorrow and we removed honesty from the planet, life would be very different. But if we wake up tomorrow and remove love, there will be zero change. So does love exist? Prove it. I can prove honesty exists. Let everyone start lying tomorrow. We'll have a shit show of a world. You stop loving the way you love today. Come on, Logan. Let's see if tomorrow changes.
You're all fucked.
If Stamp stops loving us like he did today, we are fucked. Shit, him and that remote not loving us, we are screwed. So prove it.
I almost think too, like you're saying, like the man that cheats on his wife is never forgiven. Like a part of me, like things are okay with my parents and like the people I know, but like the fact that I was high for so long and just lived that life, like I don't think that's ever going away either.
No,
I mean,
why can't we admit that? I mean, it might go away. I'm not saying it will or won't go away. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's so hard to admit that bad behavior over a long period of time does a lot of damage to another human being.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just does. Bad behavior over a long period of time does damage like you wouldn't even know. It does damage to our own self, to our life. It does damage. Bad behavior does damage. Now, that's not really a philosophy. That seems to be very true. That's something we could probably already all agree on. And if somebody was doing and lying to you over a period of years and taking your money and where's the person doing it to you that's still in your life right now? So I commend anyone that's been through it. I'm not sitting here. And by the way, when I say love doesn't exist, I'm not sitting here saying that there isn't this experience that knocks you your feet, that I'm not, or off your feet, that is not an amazing experience that you say I love and you feel it, and there's an experience, and I've felt it, and I know. But what I'm saying doesn't exist is I love you, and therefore I need to endure whatever bullshit you do. And I don't know why that seems to be so, people be so fond of that kind of love. I love you, therefore whatever you do, however obese you get, however unhealthy you live, however many limbs you lose, be very honest and say, I'd say it'd be very hard to be attractive with like one finger left and lose all my fingers and have something, have, yeah.
Fuck you.
I think it's hard. I think being lovable. I don't understand why that's not talked about more. How many times have you ever heard someone go, hey, be lovable? You're not lovable. Is it true? A lot, it's true. But I don't think anyone's got the guts or the balls to say it. I don't love you right now. You're not even lovable. You're a shit show. I love vanilla ice cream, but when it melts and it gets warm, it's gross. And I don't just sit there and endure the vanilla ice cream and go, I fucking love it still. No matter what condition it's in, I got to keep eating it. No, it's dog shit when it gets like that. I love a good cup of coffee. I love coffee. When it gets cold, it sucks. Well, that's the same way with humans. I love a lot of humans, but when they melt and get shitty and cold, and they suck. But we just got this system in America where we just have to say, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. What does it even mean? The hell does it even mean? I'll be there really pissed off no matter what bullshit you do because I love you. Oh, and if you get sick, I'll begrudgingly come over and yell at you and take care of you and hate it every step of the way and be miserable and we'll fight. But I'll take care of you. I love you. What does it even mean? I'll love you, therefore. Now, there is an experience that seems to be maybe like love, where energy is there. This person's energy is so beautiful, and your energy is at the right place. It's so beautiful, and you connect, and the energy is so good, and you go, I love you. I'm not denying that. But I'm also saying, geez, man, I got a lot of work to keep my energy there so people love me. And it's very okay if you don't. You know, everyone's waking up trying to be loved. We talk about that. You know, everything everyone's doing, they're trying to be liked, they're trying to be loved. Everyone's going to the car dealer to be loved. Everyone's getting a new job because they want to be loved. Everyone's getting the outfit to be loved. Everyone's getting their haircut to be loved. That's not how you be. And we all know that's stupid. We all know that's not even how you be loved. The way that you be loved is to be lovable, but we never. In fact, the people going to get the new car, the haircut, and the house, we don't even like. So why can't we even be honest enough to go, you know how you get love? You be lovable. You know how you be lovable? You be present. You know how hard it is to love someone on their phone? Try loving someone on their phone all day. I don't love anyone on their phone. I hate you. I hate sitting in the room with you. I hate looking at you sitting there like this. I'm supposed to just go, stay on your phone all day and we'll sit in the room together. And then at the end of the night, we'll go, I love you. I think all the shit's crazy. Oh, there. Okay. I don't.
This is so good. I love that you challenge these things and you get us thinking. And I really want to hear from some parents out there. So let's open it up. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, you can just use the raise your hand feature.
Oh, you can't walk over there and do it?
No, it'll disconnect this again.
Oh.
I'm raising my hand right now, so just an example. So anybody out there, please, let's talk. We've got 20 minutes. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? What are your hangups? I have a feeling Mom's Group tomorrow is going to be extra good.
Well, I just don't know, you know?
I like what you said yesterday about how love is that's just a language, you know what I mean? It's just something that's just thrown around because we don't have another word for it. We don't have something else that we could say in its place.
Yeah, well, it's like this. It's like if you go to the restaurant and you say, I'm going to eat the cheeseburger, but you're looking at the menu, and then you grab the menu, you never get the cheeseburger from the cook, but the menu is right there, and then you try to eat the menu, and but you don't eat the cheeseburger. So we say, I love you, like I say I ate a cheeseburger, but I love you, but that doesn't mean I'm having any type of experience. I'm not like having the experience of love. Like I'm not having the experience of eating a cheeseburger. I'm not having the experience of love. In fact, I might be having the experience of hate. So I might even be eating a burrito, but I'm telling you, I cheeseburger you. So, I mean, no, it's not. No, look at we're not. You're not. When you say I love you, you're talking about something else. You look at the sunset and it's beautiful, and you look at that sunset and your head, even if it's a song, if a song's on the radio and you love it, you go, you're listening to the song and you're having the experience of total connection and truth with this song. And you're saying, I love this song. And it's making your energy feel a certain way. And your energy is connected to that song. And you're probably tearing up. You're probably crying if it's a song like that. Or if you watch American Idol and you see somebody come out and sing beautifully, you're watching it and all of a sudden tears and you're like, I love this. I love that beautiful song. That's the cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Yeah.
So that's the cheeseburger that you're eating. That's love as an experience. Now, when you're saying I love you, it means I need to go to bed. I say this so that we're both okay and we feel okay with ourselves. And we just had a nasty fight and we're not even really friends. And I'm really angry with you. But I say I love you so we can get off the phone and go to bed.
It's not like Woofy.
Yeah. Woofy. Her eyes, love. So I mean, even if you can call it, but you know, if you're looking at it like that, then you see it's watered down.
Oh, sorry. I accidentally muted you guys. I was trying to mute somebody else. Sorry, that was me. We got to get you unmuted again. There you go.
So it's just this watered down thing that just keeps getting said. And I think what it means is I will endure you and I must endure you because I've said to the world, I love you. And I've said to you, I love you. Now, no matter what condition you're in or what you do, I'm expected to endure all your bullshit. And no matter how unhappy you make me or no matter how unhappy I am with myself or you, we'll stick it out. And why? Because I love you. And like I said yesterday, if everyone that in this room has told a woman they love her and are not with her right now, which is true for all of us, and everyone's told someone they love them and they're not with them now, and maybe not just someone, but maybe about 10 different people. If love's so prevalent, if love's so amazing and so easy to see, then how many people get it wrong? Why is it wrong all the time? Why are people like, I love you, I'm packing my shit and I'm moving out today? So if it's so prevalent, if it's so existing, then how many women have you told you love and you're not with them right now?
Well, because they didn't match up to the conditions, maybe. Like, weren't you saying before that you can love and have the experience of love, but there's no such thing as unconditional love. So like, if they were one way when you were with them and then that changes, they relapse or whatever, like if the conditions change, then it doesn't mean that it can't be true that you love that person, because now the conditions are changed and you've chosen to not give that like unconditionally, or is it?
Yeah,
is it
I know.
or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I know that someone said to me, they love me, and then we're not together. So did they? You know? And I know everyone in this room has had someone tell you they love you. Did they? I mean, seriously, if you said, well, I just took the garbage out, and then the garbage is not out, you'd be like, what the hell? But we can just say, I love you, like it doesn't, it's just water. It's just something we say.
It's almost like it's like two people can love each other, but it's all based on like a condition, and both people have to continually meet the conditions for that.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly right. So I think it's so much cooler to say, my energy is really digging your energy right now. And if you keep your energy up, keep it good, we could stick this out.
Yeah.
When your energy starts getting all shitty and whacked out and shit, I'm out.
I'm good.
I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think,
Agreed.
yeah, I'm ready to bounce whenever your energy is not attracting me.
Yeah.
When I say I love you, it's because I can feel my energy pulling into you.
Yeah. And there's actual freedom in this. If there's reservation out there and resistance to this, which I can feel it, there is. And I'll say that Art and I have had this conversation for several days. And so I've had time to process what he's saying and really get down with it. And there's actually complete freedom in it. It's really challenged this topic. And when I'm hearing it tonight, I'm coming from a space I've already had time to process it. And now I'm going, yeah, it's to me, I find it truthful. And there's ultimate freedom in that. Isn't that the way we want to live? Yes. I have a feeling though, mom's group tomorrow, all the thoughts are going to come out, and it's coming from that resistant place.
By the way, this is stemming from me telling Angie that she doesn't love me. Oh. And I said, I'm okay with it. And then she got what I was trying to say. It's because not in the way that, when we say this, when we say I love you, it seems to mean immunity. And I don't like love with immunity. And I don't want to be loved with immunity. And, there is an immunity. Can't we say that, we don't have an expectation of a woman, let's say a man, let's just say we don't have to talk about women. Let's just say all of us men in this room, I would challenge each man in this room to say, you don't have any immunity. You want to be loved by a woman, you're going to work goddamn hard at it. You're going to make sure her energy is attracted to your energy at all the times, because when it ain't attracted to your energy and you're doing something stupid and behaving poorly, her energy is going to resist your energy. She's going to turn over in the bed the other way. She's not going to want to lay with you. And she can say, I love you all you want, but she don't want to love you. So that ain't shit then. So if her energy is turned the other way, facing the other way, because you've done something with your energy that's not good, and you're not man enough to go, hey, I need to keep my energy better so that you love me. It's okay. But you don't have to love me with immunity. I don't have to go, how dare you not want to touch me right now? Love me, I thought.
Hey, dinner was great. You looked fabulous in that dress, but I just want you to know, I don't love you.
Yeah. No, it's a clear understanding that energy can change and that times change and that I love you is not forever. It's not some forever immunity thing. It could be possible that people have said, I love you 1 billion times and then got divorced. So why can't we just have an honest discussion about maybe that it wasn't true that you love them? And maybe we aren't really clear on what love is or what it's supposed to be.
Or maybe, or maybe it's just
or
true.
We could just
love
have
is
billions and billions of divorces and keep saying I love you. And then go to court and hate each other and fight for the shit.
Or just to admit that it is not unconditional. To just admit that it is conditional. Just that admittance. What's that?
I would like the parents to know, and everyone to know, that my father got me sober with conditional love, not unconditional love. My father got me sober with his conditions. The day was, stop doing drugs today or never, ever, ever come around me again. Those are your choices, son. And he meant it. Thank that man for getting me sober that day. He absolutely meant it. I saw it in his heart, his eyes. He didn't mean it before. He tried to say it before, but he meant it that day. So I got sober from conditional love. That's right. So anyone telling me that unconditional love gets so, maybe it gets somebody else sober, but not me. Unconditional love, I'd still be out here in this shop selling his shit.
Well, I think when we can be honest that love is conditional, that is when we can actually have the experience of love. When we can actually get honest about that yes, it is conditional. So
Questions?
Yeah, right.
everybody's silent out here. But we do have 7 minutes left, so we've got time for a couple of people. Where's Carrie? Where's Mama Bundle?
In the back.
And the Penningtons are on vacation right now too, and they're usually the first one.
Mom, I can tell you what she's going through. She got there was some of it she's really into, and then she's she loves Doug, so she whatever. She's got her own experience. She's been married 40 years, so 33. So there's things that I just don't know, which is true. So.
Well, I told you the other day too, this is going to be a tough topic for the people who've been married for a long time. It is.
Yes.
It's true. It's true. That's going to be the toughest crowd to see it. Yeah.
I don't think it, for us or for me, and he is online, I don't think it was that type of a topic at all. You've closed the loop because you've done this before. And I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
But I think that when we had our vows, and I'm sure that people are online, there's one of the vows we talked where the Minister Lester was the ring represents, it's a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're up here and sometimes you're down here. And down here is where it takes the most work to get your in, and it's gonna go like this.
Yeah.
And that's, when you're here, that's when you do the most work and you say, okay, we're gonna work through this.
But you're not necessarily talking about love, you're talking about the contract of marriage.
Talking about
How to stay in love takes work.
Well, she's talking about how to stay married.
But sometimes the love feels all the way here, sometimes it's down here, and it's down here is when it takes work to get back here, and that's
it's because a lot of times what you have when it's up here, when you're here, you're like, okay, working to get back up there.
So let me ask you this. If you weren't married, you didn't sign that deal that said until death do us part, is there any time where it's just okay just to go, yeah, not feeling it, I'm cool?
Well, I can't answer that.
Yeah, I know. In death do us part. Oh, that's so fucking morbid.
It is not till death do us part. I mean, so sometimes I'll talk about it as boundaries. There are rules that you need to follow.
Yeah.
So it's not till death do us part.
Yeah.
Conditions. Rules.
Those are the conditions I think that we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Hence I have no
Yeah.
rings.
Do you know what the conditions?
I don't want the contract. I don't want to, I don't have the faith I don't have the faith that my energy will not adjust over the next years of my life, and that her energy won't adjust to the point where I don't want to do that work to stay connected. I just want to be able to walk away. And so does she. And we talk about it. It's not something we want to sign up for. But that's different. That's some people, marriage is everything for them.
And some people want that. Some
Yeah.
people want to not, you know what I mean? I think it's just, I don't think everybody. Yeah.
Some people pride themselves on a long, fulfilling marriage. That's, and I have no experience with that. So that's just not my philosophy at this current point, which might change.
But you've got experience with it. You had your parents.
Yeah. And what, I don't know. They weren't very affectionate. They weren't very, I never really seen them hug or kiss, or it was more of a, we're together. The business of our family.
Imagine you sign up for a cell carrier for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And you just stop giving you coverage. You're no, but
I love them.
And not only are they fucking you, but they're fucking a lot of other people too.
But I love them.
Stop giving me coverage.
For like 2 months. You're like, no.
Now, that being said, the person that you're with, I mean,
There's
I
gotta be conditions. Like
I don't think that our energy, ever repels each other, and it's pretty good. So it's a nice thing.
Well, and in like long, healthy relationships or marriages like that, like it's also like I was kind of saying, like it's a commitment to that. Like she probably has been committed to herself to like keep her energy.
That's right.
To where
that's why they have a good marriage,
right? And
because they're both accountable. That's
Yeah.
it. That's exactly right. I mean,
One of us does the dishes more.
yeah.
It's not me.
Doug's probably right now sneaking a PB&J or something and about to get in trouble. I mean,
You think my
yeah. He's gonna get his when she gets home, But I don't, man. The reason I want to even talk about this is because it led to this whole thing, this whole crazy premise. All the crazy premises that come into the field of addiction, the ones that brainwashed me and the ones that, maybe you haven't been brainwashed, but I was brainwashed into thinking that, one, I needed to go to a meeting every day for the rest of my life, or I'd arbitrarily get high because I missed a 24-hour period of time where I didn't go sit in a room where people talked, which is very weird. But I could go to like Arby's and have the same experience, or like Denny's, people are sitting there talking, drinking coffee. I could go there, but it seemed that I had to go there. That was the first premise I bought into. And then the second premise was that, it had to do with unconditional love. And then I found myself wondering why people didn't love me unconditionally. And, I found that one and on. And then you learn, well, shit, it's because I didn't pray enough, or I don't have a God that I can maybe, now I got demons that I'm fighting. And I was told all this shit. And then I bought into every one of it. And at some point in my recovery, I was sure that this was the reason. And, and I was sure, but the trauma one, that was the tough one, because I was like, oh, what don't I remember?
What about people like parents splitting up, like a divorce, and then the kid that's an addict saying that that's the trauma that caused his addiction?
Oh, geez.
I mean, that happens, right?
Jeez.
It's traumatizing.
I'm trying to be the parent, and you're trying to think through what trauma did
Oh, yes, yes.
You got cars, you got baseball bats,
Yeah.
Nike.
Did I
You lived on
Very
the
careful.
Did I not hold the bundle tight enough? Yeah.
It was really tragic.
Yeah.
But it's true. They tell you that, and you're like,
Oh, and then I'm buying in. So, I'm like 4 or 5 years sober, and I'm starting to help families. And so every family that came into me, I'm thinking right when I meet them, like, what'd you do? You. And then we were doing it, we were part of it. Well, let's get them all in a room. And, kids like, whatever.
I'm gonna love your kids so much more than you did.
Yes. Oh, and that's the sickest of all the premises for any family that's got a homeless kid that's in Seattle, that just tried everything to love them, tried keeping them in the house, tried everything to get them into treatment, just loved the shit out of their kid. And then their kid just goes down to Seattle and somebody's like, it's because you didn't love him, and he hands him a needle. It's like, oh, you didn't give him socks. It's like he's got a drawer full of socks at his house. If he just doesn't shoot dope for a night, he can come home and take a shower. Like, he's got a home. And that nastiness of those people driving down to Seattle to help addicts by telling them, come on, man. And there was a day where people needed to go out on the streets. And there is an abandoned, alone, maybe female or prostitute that's never had a family, that's disconnected, that does need somebody on this planet to love them. Yes, there is that case. But they're doing that kind of mode of treatment with somebody like Logan. somebody like the bundle, I mean, that was raised with love and given everything and has socks and has a whole home. So
Did you hear about this older couple that they're in downtown Seattle and they're and they have really influential jobs and they're like, we have lots of time on our hands, so we're now going to help the homeless people. How hard can it be?
Yeah.
I ran the Northwest Kidney Center. I was president of this.
Yeah.
Can't be that hard.
Yeah.
And they're like, and now they're running into Seattle government.
Yeah. Enormously hard, But there's a huge upside, because I remember the upside. I remember the upside, my motivation for helping drug addicts when I first got into it. And there was this heroic upside that I could make my identity about what a hero I am to other people. And I remember going through that. And I remember being part of that. And I remember wanting so desperately for somebody else to do good in life so I could take all the credit. And I remember that. So I know it exists. And I know why people do it. Because it looks good and it sounds good. So, okay. We're going to close it up.
It's time to wrap it up, but just a reminder that next week is live. So join us live. You can find the details on Facebook. You can message us if you need the address and all that. And we'd love to see everybody who can join us live do so. We highly encourage carpooling. If you live near some Battlefield friends, definitely carpool because of the parking situation. But we look forward to seeing you all next week, and some of you on Zoom and lots of you live.
I think the most important thing I want people to understand is here we are. No matter how we got to where we got here to this point in our life and to this point with our family, to this point with everyone out there, whatever we got, here we are. And what can we do? Well, we want love, so we should be lovable. We want connection, so we should connect with people. And I don't know any clearer way. And then, the way that you be lovable, it's in your energy. You guys go look at somebody that's moping and try to love them. Look at somebody who's complaining and try to love them. So don't complain. Don't mope. Lighten up. See what's on your mind and speak it. But don't speak it in a complaining way. Just say, hey, this is what's on my mind. I need to get it off so I'm a little lighter and I'm lovable. And that's it. It's not you being helped. It's you just helping someone. So you just seeing, hey, maybe I'll feel better and I'll feel more connected if I give this guy a hand. And not helping him like a hero, just saying, hey, dude, I got it. I'll clean the bathroom. I'll do that. And so it's not important of how we got to where we got. It's not important. And that people looking into that are totally wasting our time. Yeah. Anyone looking into the cause of addiction is wasting our time. They've been telling me, we've been looking into the cause of cancer for how many years? Do they know the cause? They don't. And they're still looking into that shit. They even tell me what foods cause cancer. Then why are we still getting them served at the grocery store? That's nuts. I don't think people believe you. I don't think they believe your research. Because if they believed your research that food causes cancer, then we should definitely not have it on the shelves. But here we go.
Power grid causes cancer.
Yeah, power grids, tin cans. They told me if I smoked my crack out of a tin can, I was going to get Alzheimer's. Oh shit! They didn't even tell me the crack was bad. They told me don't. So now somebody's bringing me a clear tube with some Brillo, going, "You're going to get Alzheimer's. You need to smoke that crack out of this tube." I'm like, "Thank you. This is a nice tube." I didn't like paying the 69 cents for that can of soda anyways. I just dumped it out. And it's not good. If you smoke crack off a tin can, for all you people that don't know, you got to take cigarette ashes and you got to put it on the top and you got to smash them around so the crack don't run down the hole. Just so you know. You need some education. Yeah. That's how you smoke crack out of a tin can.
And you flip the ash over.
Yeah. That's what you do. Right. So, we know a thing. All of it's not a philosophy. Some of it's scientific. We do know the best way to smoke crack cocaine out of a tin can.
We did research.
We did research. So we can tell you that. But we can't tell you all. We can tell you one thing. Like, we know for sure that people that we are constantly feeling Lord's love to are lovable people. And they're not fake lovable people. They're not doing things that are fraudulent. They're not doing things that are inauthentic. They're just lovable. They're lovable because they tell the truth. They're lovable because they are the truth. And they're just there. They're not lovable because of their car. They're not lovable because of their haircut. They're not lovable because of their shoes. They're not lovable because of their house. They're lovable because they're lovable. And we don't say it enough. You want love? Well, be lovable. That's it. You want connection? Be connected. So here we are. One thing to do going forward. I don't want to get high ever again. Okay, cool. Love and connect with people. But no one's coming for you. No one's going to do it for you, and you shouldn't expect anyone to, and you shouldn't want anyone to. And it would be weird if that was what you were waiting for.
Yeah.
It would just be weird and victimized and irresponsible. So here we are. So anyways, I hope you're not too pissed at me again. I hope I'm a little lovable. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Good night. See you next week. Get registered. Run for recovery. Good night.